Sit down and heal with Coach Derek. Let that old pain breathe and we air it. You already know that you need to heal. Let me show you how. Turn the volume up, talk it out right now. Sit down and heal with Coach Derek. You picking through, can you feel it? You already know that you need to heal. Let me show you how. Turn the volume.
Welcome to another episode of the Sit Down and Heal podcast. My name is Coach Derek, and I'm your host. I'm a certified healing journey coach and relationship coach, which means I bridge you between the two. We don't give you dating advice here until we find out if that healing journey is on you, because we don't want to put you in the dating pool and you become the P2. We don't want that for you. I don't want that for you, and you shouldn't want that for you. So here, no matter what your station in life is, no matter what your relationship status, being a better version of yourself is a win-win no matter what. So tonight, we have a topic. Some of you may find it funny, but it's called You Dating Like a Baby. And I know some of y'all are grown. Some of y'all over 30, over 40, over 50, over 60. Some people here over 70. You're still dating like a baby. You're dating like a toddler. You're dating like a preteen. And you're like, wait, I didn't. This how y'all mind work. I wasn't dating when I was a toddler. What do you mean, Coach Derek? So before I do that, all of the Tuesday night podcasts, every Tuesday we air live on TikTok at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We upload, I'm doing it all. Upload all the replays to YouTube. How you find me is just type in Sit Down and Heal, all is one word, and it'll pop right up. Just look for the Chicken McNugget Egghead and click on that, and it'll go, and you'll get all the past episodes. Also, because this is an official podcast, it will be uploaded to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all of the major podcast platforms, like literally all of them. I don't care which one you go to, I'm there. I worked hard at it. So let's get into this. You dating like a baby? Like a little baby, right? And what we're really talking about is the inner child, right? It's controlling how you move in the dating streets, right? And when we say control, it doesn't mean that your adult self isn't showing up, but your decisions are being influenced by things that you've been through, and maybe you don't even realize that it's happening. So we're going to talk about how you show up like a kid when you're dating. What are some of the signs that that little kid is controlling you? So I got some notes over here. Oh, my mama gonna kill me. I have some notes over here, and I'm going to be looking at the notes so that I don't get too far off, but we definitely going to do some tangents. We're going to do some rambling, but we're going to get some good information. So now, some people aren't dating from wisdom. They're actually dating from their wounds. So if you follow me, right, you should be able to do this show for me. But some of y'all don't listen to me, so we're going to do it anyway, right? You may be grown. You have your bills, your job, your responsibilities, your kids, your business, your goals, all the things that make you feel like you're a grown-up. But when it comes to dating, the version of you that shows up may not be as adult as you think. And so the little boy or the little girl still wants to be chosen. And these are the type of kids that we might be. We, meaning I'm one of you too. We might be the child who felt ignored, the child who had to perform for love, the child who was abandoned emotionally, physically, or mentally. And now that inner child is controlling your dating life. Some of us is all of them though, right? We just can't pick one. We got a lot of stuff on us, and it shows up in who we choose, where we stay too long. Does it feel abusive, but we still try to stick it out because of love? So now, if that inner child may be controlling, like how do we know that, Coach Derek? I don't have no wounds. What are you talking about? So the episode is called You're Dating Like a Baby. So this is not to insult you. This is not to shame you. This is not even me calling you immature. It's about recognizing that some of the behaviors we call love, loyalty, chemistry, passion, or connection are really childhood wounds acting out in adult relationships. You're dating like a baby, but do you know it? So now we're going to talk about some things. We're going to parse this out because y'all know I like to give y'all structure here. Sometimes you might laugh a little bit, but we're going to give you that structure so you have something to go back to. And again, the replay will be uploaded to YouTube, so you can go back and replay it 1,000 times if you need to. 1,001 for some of y'all. So now let me read these notes. The wounded inner child is looking for something more urgent. It wants reassurance, it wants attention, and it wants someone to stay. It wants someone to finally choose you, and it wants someone to prove that you have some type of worth. Because maybe as a child, you did not feel valued, you didn't feel like you have worth, and you're looking for it in others so you don't have to work on it. So when you're dating from that wounded place, you may not be asking, is this person healthy for me? We're not doing that, are we? We're not looking for healthy. We're looking for right now. So that's where it becomes dangerous emotionally, because the inner child will often choose familiarity over what's healthy. The adult version of you may know better, and we talk about this all the time. That head, it knows what's right and wrong and what feels bad, but the wounded child may crave what feels familiar, even if the familiar thing hurt before. Isn't that wild? That's why we call them patterns, because we keep doing it. We keep doing it. We keep doing it, even when it hurts. And we'll say these little things like, these hurtful people just keep finding me. I don't know why they keep being attracted to me. No, sis. No, bro. Why did you sit with that hurtful person for 6 years? That's the question. And we're going to talk about that. So it doesn't mean what they did wasn't bad. It just means that when it was a deal breaker, when it hurt the most, you pushed through to try to fix it 200 times. Some people, we give them grace. We give them a pass. 200 times, it's you. It's you. Or is it your inner child? So now, let's do this. We're going to talk about what the childlike behavior looks like, because, you're dating like a baby, right? So now, your first childhood behavior, fear of abandonment. A little kid that is afraid that it's going to be left alone with no attachment, no emotional attachment, no hugs, none of that. Scared. Like a little kid. Think about a little kid that's in a dark. Like little kids be afraid of dark because nobody's there with them, and they start shaking. Oh my God, turn the light on. Some of us feel like that as an adult, and the lights be on. Some of y'all gonna catch that, and some of y'all won't. Even with the lights on, you still scared of being by yourself. Ah, that boy good. So now, let's start with one of the biggest signs that you can tell that your inner child is in control. One of the ways is that you panic when someone tries to pull away, right? It sounds simple. You think it's the adult feeling a little anxious because somebody pulled away from you. But a lot of times it's the inner child afraid that it's going to be left alone again. Another way is if they take too long to text you back, you go crazy. Your whole nervous system just goes on fire. Why you didn't text me back? It's been 5 minutes. I don't know. Because you believe that space means that they might run away. You go crazy. Nervous system on fire. You start shaking. And then they call back in minute number 6 and you're like, I'm not by myself anymore. If the person seems a little distant, you just checking your phone every 2 minutes because you're trying to figure out if you're going to be alone again. If somebody cancels plans on you instead of simply observing their behavior, your mind starts creating a whole new story. I'm going to tell y'all this for the 100th time. Y'all better Google cognitive distortions. Cognitive distortions. It's when your mind makes something true that's not really there. It fills in the blanks with what it needs in order for it to feel safe. But is it true? So So let me answer this question in the chat real quick. Is fear of abandonment different than actually being abandoned? So this is where how the wound manifests itself, right? Don't think about a physical parent being missing, right? That's one way, right? Another way is to have both parents there and they don't give you any emotional love. You're still abandoned emotionally, right? So there's different flavors of this, but the end result behavior of me being emotionally abandoned could look just like someone who had a parent missing, right? So I'm afraid of not having that nurturing. So I'm going to try to take it from you. I'm going to be clingy. I'm going to get nervous when you don't answer my text back. The behavior looks similar because it's still technically something that you felt like you're missing, right? So we call it a wound because it's something that internally kind of almost feels like hurt. And we project it onto our partners every time until we can learn to sit down and heal. Pun intended. So now let's keep going. So hopefully that makes sense. So now somebody cancel plans on you. You just don't look at the fact that they cancel plan. You trying to figure out why they cancel on me. Maybe I'm not a good enough person. Maybe they don't like me. I wonder why they canceled and they didn't say anything. Maybe it's me. We gotta hurry up and try to figure it out before we panic, but then we panic anyway, right? So now you start thinking, maybe they found somebody else, maybe I did something wrong, right? The reaction may feel like the adult is dealing with this, but emotionally, it's very childlike. It's very, very, very childlike. Let me tell you why. Let's deviate from the notes a little bit because y'all ain't listening to me. So listen, when I say childlike, it's almost kind of like, when and a lot of y'all are parents, right? Some of us, we will have like kids that we'll take to like their first school. And sometimes those kids go insane with that separation anxiety. They crying. They like, oh my God, it's a new, oh my God, what my parents are leaving me. Well, that childlike kind of separation behavior, that abandonment behavior, because the child is panicking because it's feeling abandoned, right? And this is just a different flavor of it, so don't take this literally. As an adult, you will still feel the same type of panic when your person don't call you back on time, right? When you start to notice little things that make you feel like they might leave, you don't just say, hey, are you leaving me? You panic before you can even answer the question because your nervous system starts to feel familiar, just like when things didn't happen when you were younger, right? So I'm saying this in very like layman's terms because I don't want anybody to get lost. Yeah, the nervous system be on fire. Let me tell you something. I would attract more anxious attachment. And so I didn't necessarily go through like this traditional type of like panic and anxiety. What I would do is I would try to watch you enough to try to make things so comfortable for you, to try to anticipate your moves so you wouldn't have a reason to leave me. So I would like overdo people, please do all of this stuff. Still comes from an abandonment wound, but I wanted to try to do enough things to try to like project out in the future, like what you might do and fix it before it happens so you don't have to go nowhere. That was how I did it, right? And a lot of people do that too. It's called emotional monitoring. Like we're paying attention to your emotions. If you're sad, we're going to try to fix it because we don't want you to have a reason to be upset with us. We don't want you to have a reason to leave us because we don't want to be by ourselves. But it's an unnerving thing to have to go through every day, right? So let me get back to the notes. So in a lot of this stuff, I say inherently because it's just who I am. So sometimes I do the notes without even knowing that I did them. But it might be the child in you who remembers what it felt like when love was inconsistent. A lot of us had parents where it was very inconsistent. And sometimes it wasn't even something they did intentionally. Maybe they had, a lot of us that grew up in a certain time, we was latchkey kids. Our parents had to go to work. We didn't have all that. We used to suck it up, get her done, right? Here's your key to the house. Work it out, right? Sometimes those of us who may need a little more nurturing, we miss it. And so it projects out into who we date. Meaning, normally, we learn here the vetting process, the deal breakers, the standards, all of these things, these lists we make. We don't, and the core, aligning the core values and all that. We ain't worrying about that. Just hug me. I need somebody here. That becomes your primary directive, right? And then what it does is it creates a lot of mismatch pairings because you didn't see if they fit you. They just need to replace the love that you felt like you was missing, right? So, dang, you know what? I'm reading these notes and I'm like, I functionally already know this stuff because I lived it. So the inner child says, when it starts to feel like this, here we go again. I'm about to be left again. There's people out here, and I've met them. You probably been them or know them, where people be like, everybody just leaves me. Like I can never meet anyone that just never leaves me. I guess I'm just like, I don't know. Like I always get left. I'm always the one that gets left. Anybody ever heard that before? And that's how they live life in that state. Because the abandonment happens so much that they think that that's just supposed to be how life is, instead of trying to figure out like how to maneuver through and around it, right? They're just like, it is what it is. This is who I am, the person that everybody don't like. We gotta do something about that. You're gonna have to probably get help with it. Because that healing journey is gonna be something that you may not need to do alone. So when the fear takes over, you may start chasing, over texting, over explaining, apologizing for things you didn't do. Let's pause right there. Ooh, I was about to do a whole show about this. Apologizing for things you didn't do. How many people, think about it. You're going to over apologize for stuff you didn't do just so that the person don't leave, so that you can have peace. And you'd be like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. A lot of people, when they like this, they say, I'm sorry, like so many times in a row. And you'd be like, okay, I heard you. Like, are you sure? They need that reassurance that you ain't going anywhere. Even if they didn't do it, they'll be like, you know what? It's my fault. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And they'd be like, what? And then you know what else to say? To get that reassurance? Are you sure you're not going to ever leave me? Promise me. I'm sorry. If you don't want to stay, I get it. I understand. They start putting all of this stuff in the air. I'm probably not good enough for you anyway. Anybody ever had anybody talk to you like that? Like I already know you're too good for me, but thank you for staying. I already know it's me. And they be like, I'm not even mad. What are you talking about? I'm just saying, like, the way that you walked in the other room, I just figured you was mad at me, so I'm sorry. And they be like, you didn't do what? What? Yeah, I'm sorry. Just in case you was gonna leave me, I'm just letting you know I'm sorry. Y'all, man, we pick these people. We are these people, but we pick them. I'm gonna breathe for everybody here. Right? So now, it's kind of a weird space, right? Because all of this behavior is familiar. All of this behavior has always been in you. You just didn't recognize that it was there so long. You didn't recognize in childhood that you felt devalued. Maybe you felt like you didn't have a voice. Maybe you felt abandoned. And so now you become the over apologizer, the over explainer. What I got to do to fix it. It all comes from that singular point. And that's what we do here at Sit Down and Heal Coaching, is we find the root. We solve things from the root so that we don't have to keep going back over and over again, right? I don't help fix you in the sense that it goes away. I help you understand how to regulate and manage yourself so that it doesn't show up like a child every time you leave the house. So this is the difference between your adult brain and your inner child, right? The adult says, I need to observe this person to see if it's consistent. The child says, let me do whatever I can to make them stay. That's the difference. If you're the second one, you're dating like a baby. That means you need to work on it or get help. And this is what I do here is I help you understand why and how that little child shows up so we can give that little child a hug and say, you know what? I got it from here. Stop picking these people. We don't need no more narcissists. Stop picking them. We good. You're not abandoned no more. I got you. We got to have conversations. We got to understand how to regulate when that little kid gets triggered. Or we going to keep doing it. You're going to be like, I did all of this and I meditated and I did all. Why I keep picking the same people? It's not you. It's the little kid in you. So now, another childlike behavior and how and what it looks like to be dating like a baby. Emotional dependency. Another sign that your inner child is control is when you need constant reassurance to feel okay. Ooh, I know that's some of y'all right now. The reassurance isn't bad. It's healthy. It matters. You need it. We all need an affirmation sometimes. We want to feel loved. We want to feel wanted. We want somebody to care. And we need to know that they care by the reassurance. But the difference between receiving reassurance and needing reassurance in order for you to function is the distinction. You need it in order for you to function, right? At least that's what you think. And where does it come from? If you need someone to constantly tell you they like you, constantly tell you, constantly text you, constantly validate you, constantly prove you are enough, then the relationship may be carrying a weight that was never designed to carry, right? So now, constant. Are you sure you like me? Yeah, I like you. Are you sure? Yeah. Are you sure you love me? Yeah, I love you. Tell me again. I need to hear it. I just said I love you. Okay, because I was just checking. I want to make sure that you're not, talking to anybody else. Are you sure it's just me? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Yes. Yeah. I'm right here. I'm right next to you. What? Are you sure? You want to sabotage a relationship? Keep going. The problem is no person can permanently reassure an unhealed wound. I talk about this all the time. You can put a person in place. You can go to the gym, all of that. It's not going to work on your childhood wounds. It's still going to be there. You're still going to date like a baby, right? They can say, I love you today, and the wound will ask, but what about tomorrow? You're going to need it all the time. But here is where we do what I call flip the perspective. If you're the person that needs this constant reassurance, you ultimately have to find somebody that's going to be ultimately okay with you needing it, which means that they have a wound too. They like it. They need it too. And then you find your match made in trauma. I hope y'all caught that. They are going to probably be a people pleaser, right? And you're going to keep doing this and they're going to keep trying to please you. So you both are siphoning off of each other. Not healthy. You'll call it happy, but it's not healthy. So now we're gonna scroll past some of this stuff because we done been there. The next childlike behavior is emotional dysregulation. Some of y'all have not a clue how to regulate yourselves when those triggers happen. So, and so I talk about this a lot. It's funny. I have these notes, but I talk about this a lot. You know how a little kid has the temper tantrum, the folding of the arms, and you don't look good. How many adults do that? Run to the other room. When you talk about you dating like a kid, a baby, the behavior looks just like a kid, right? Adult temper tantrums, emotional tantrums. It's you don't want to call it because you feel like you've grown, right? But you still do it, right? An emotional tantrum in dating May not look like a child screaming in the grocery store. It may not look like sending a long paragraph when you feel ignored. It may look like blocking and unblocking someone. It may look like giving the silent treatment. It may look like posting subliminal messages online. It may look like saying hurtful things because you feel hurt. You're dating like a baby. But do we want to always be like this? Is it healthy? The issue is not that you have emotions. You're supposed to have them. The issue is when your emotions take over the driver's seat and your adult self disappears. So if your adult self disappears, who's left? The inner child. It's the only person left to drive. And you've been letting that kid drive for your whole life. It's time for the adult version of you to take the reins with more education, with more awareness, with better tools, so that you can matriculate through life and the dating pool and relationships and or marriage more aware, so that you don't show up like a baby. When rejection hits an unhealed wound, it can be unbearable. It can feel like it's unbearable. You put a lot of extra weight on things that trigger you, like rejection, then it should be because it is connecting to a wound that you had your whole life. It makes it real today, and you're going to react based on that tether. Most of the time, it's not 100% about the person standing in front of you. The little kid is showing up all over again. A healthy adult can say, this hurts, but I can handle this. The wounded child says, this hurts, and I need to make them feel what I feel. That's when people start reacting instead of responding. You may accuse someone before asking questions. You may create conflict just to see if they care enough. What? You may create conflict just to see if they care enough. Ooh, some of y'all guilty of this one. You may test them. You may punish them emotionally. You may act like you do not care when deep down you care too much. You're dating like a baby. Y'all know when you was a little kid, you used to cry to get attention, you used to cry to get your way. You're still doing it like a baby with your grown self. I'm grown, except for when I'm in a relationship. Then I turn into a baby all over again. Right? It's childlike because children often do not have the tools to regulate big emotions. They cry, scream, withdraw, act out because they do not know what else to do. But as an adult, healing means learning how to pause, right? Like stop and think, because the inner child is doing all the reacting. We're going to talk about that in a little bit if we have time, because the little kid is driving. The little kid is driving and you don't even realize it. You just think that's hard. Well, you know what? When you say this is just how I am, you're actually right. It is. It's who you are and how you are, but you get to control how you show up, though. Yeah, you had some abandonment in your childhood, but you don't have to let that be front facing. You don't have to let it control you. You can acknowledge it's there. You can work with me and learn how to navigate it better, regulate it better, understand the inner child better, so we can solve you from the root. So we don't have to keep going in the dating pool or in relationships, letting that kid show out. That kid showing out. You got to have a little talk with that kid before you go outside. Just like any other real kid, you be like, hold on, before we go out, something might happen. We don't know. But if and for whatever reason, something reminds you of something, let me take over. We going to pause first. Calm your ass down. Calm down. Calm down. We about to go in the store. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I'm laughing about it, right? But this is really what happens, right? When you heal, when you get this healing on you, let me tell you, my graduates of my system, right? They'll always, I keep telling y'all this. They be texting me and calling me, talking about, I had to talk to the little girl today. I had to talk to the little boy today. He was about to flare up, and I felt it. But I know it's there now. I normally would have reacted, but I stopped this time because I know where it's coming from. That's the win, right? So now, how you show up as a kid, again, another childlike behavior. Ooh, this one right here. Craving validation. It's another way how you show up like a kid. Another major sign is confusing attention with love. Some people are not attached to how someone treats them. They're attached to how wanted the person made them feel in the beginning. In the beginning, they made you feel wanted. Forget your boundaries, forget your questions. How did they make me feel? You got to think about this. How they make you feel is more important than your safety. Why? Because the inner child in you was so hungry for that attention that nothing else matters. And we got to work on that. They gave you attention. They complimented you. They texted you all day. They made you feel special. They made you feel seen. And because there may be a part of you that did not feel seen growing up, that attention feels like love. Matter of fact, some of y'all will get this attention and actually tell the person you've fallen in love. And I'd be like, how long was it before you told them you fell in love? Like 4 days? I'd be like, 4 days? What did you know about this person? I don't know. It just felt the vibes. The vibes felt good. I'm like, vibes? Okay. Attention can be based on access, attraction, ego, or convenience. Love requires care. Love requires consistency. Love requires responsibility. Love requires respect and emotional safety. But your wounded inner child, ooh, the little kid, the little toddler, the little preteen in you may not know how to tell the difference. The child inside of you says these words. They notice me, so they must care about me. Imagine a kid who was in a household with their caregivers and they felt unseen. So when it feels like somebody sees you, it feels like love. They didn't even really have to work hard for it, right? That's how people get attached real quick, because they confuse it, because that inner child is driving. You're dating like a baby. That's how people ignore real red flags, because you're dating like a baby. A baby is not the adult you. It doesn't know even sometimes what hurt looks like. You guys hurt like a kid, so you're going to date somebody that hurt you. It's familiar. How the hell are you going to see red flags if you're looking for that? Right? This is how people mistake chemistry for compatibility. And it's how people become loyal to someone who only gave them intensity and not intimacy. Y'all catch that? Intensity is a hell of a drug. You know, I always talk about y'all pinky toe shaking in your shoe just from a hug, and you be like, they got me. That person can do anything they want to now. No one's ever made me feel like this before. And I'm like, how long was it been, sis? 2 days. 2 days. Slow down. But we talked on the phone for 4 hours. I've never talked on the phone that long. This must be the one. Is it? Is it? See, some people may disagree with me because all of y'all love at first sight people. Like, I met them in 2 seconds and I was madly in love. And stop. Stop it. What's most likely true when people say they fell in love at first sight is that they were attracted to the person. Maybe they had some chemistry and they ended up in a relationship that actually worked. And so they'll say, yeah, I've been with them for 20 years. I knew within the first 3 seconds. You did not. What you knew was that you probably was interested in the person and the relationship evolved from that. But the first 2 seconds, they be like, yeah, the first 2, as soon as I walked in the room, I was in love. Some of y'all gonna hate me, but no. No. Because you don't have any discernible information about their character, how they might treat you in the future, any of the stuff that should make you connect other than the physical, because that's all you got when you walk in the room is just a physical attraction. I knew from first time my eyes laid, I knew that they were going to fall in love with me. You must be from another planet if you can read minds like that. So I land my plane on that. And I'm not saying that it's not a cute thing to say. Like, oh, we've been together for 3 years. Well, when did you fall in love? In 2 seconds. I'm like, no, wait, you mean you liked them? Like you was attracted to them? You had chemistry? No, no, no. I was in love at first sight. Wow. If you say so. See, I'm an engineer. Stuff got to make logical sense to me. It doesn't make logical sense when you say in love within 2 seconds. Stop it. Congratulations, Jazz. You know I'm here if you need some course correction. It takes time sometimes. Yeah, but see it so here's the context, right? And for people that's on Spotify or whatever, the comment is every man that's ever talked to me said that they fell in love in under 2 weeks, right? So let me see how so in 2 weeks, right? You can have a lot of dialogue in 2 weeks if you really wanted to, right? And somebody could say, based on the information I've gathered, I have a genuine connection with you in 2 weeks, right? It could happen, right? But what's most likely is if you heard that from a man, is that he wants to make sure that you don't go nowhere else. He'll make sure he gonna lock it down early because I don't want nobody else in your phone. Yeah. Yeah, you do get love bombed, but you know me now. So we moving different now. We moving different. So the next point, and we're gonna start landing the plane soon, right? How you show up like a child. Here's another one that y'all can relate to. Performing for approval. This is one of my ones. 1 second comment. Is which part healthy? The love bombing or the falling in love quick? So we're gonna wait 2 seconds. When they say they fall in love in 2 weeks, what I'm saying is, as a human being, if you have like some sort of a like connective like vetting process, and love means something different to different people, they could technically mean it, right? I'm just a proponent that if you don't have any information about me or any kind of connective tissue, stop it. You don't even know who I am to say those words. But some people, they in the trenches in 2 weeks. They on the phone every day. They seeing each other. They're engulfed in trying to get to learn each other, and you can start to have feelings that soon, right? So saying fall in love in general, it happens. To say it in what I was saying was people say that they fell in love within the first few seconds of meeting someone, and I'm calling cap on that. No, you didn't. You can say that because it sounds cute. 2 weeks, 30 days, 60 days, it can happen. Some people are a little more in tune with themselves than others, right? Especially if you're kind of one of the, like me, like an empath. It's kind of a scary space, but sometimes it could feel like that. Yeah. Again, it could happen as long as you are doing work in between to learn each other. Most people, they don't do that. Most people do not vet people. So you are technically right. Most people just enjoy the time. They're not learning anything. They're not connecting. They're just, hey, we hung out once this week. We hung out once next week. So those are 2 weeks. I'm going to call cap if you didn't have anything in the middle. But then there's going to be some people that say, I met them and I knew in 30 seconds that was going to be my wife. Okay. Did they eventually become your wife? Sure, but you did not know in 30 seconds. Stop it. So anyway, so now moving right along, performing for approval. Some of us learned early that love had to be earned. You had to be helpful. You had to be quiet, stay in a child's place. You had to be mature. You had to be responsible. You had to be the easy child. You had to make people proud of you. You had to work to get the affirmations. You had to not have your own needs. You weren't heard. You couldn't speak up for yourself. You had to prove it. So now when you date, you overgive just to make sure. That's me too. You give too much too soon. You become overly available. You become the therapist for other people. You become the fixer. You become the emotional support system. You know who's most likely to be like this? Empaths. We do too damn much. We do too damn much. And we end up dating people that need our therapy. They need our energy. They're not going to reciprocate it either. We're not going to get it back. Because we're going to tell the world, I just do this because I want to see people happy. I don't need anything in return. Just don't do anything. I just want to love you. And I'm like, now at this age, I'd be damn. I need some back, damn it. What? I need to know that I'm going to get taken care of too. Yes. Narc sniff out. Yes. The empath and the narcissist. I did a YouTube about this maybe a year or two ago about the empath versus the narcissist. It's two sides of the same coin. Extreme empathy and lack of empathy. Empathy is on two sides of the same coin. So if you give wife energy, husband energy, commitment energy, loyalty energy, sacrifice energy to someone who has not even shown they can handle basic consistency, I'm looking at you. That's just not kindness. Sometimes it's a childhood survival strategy. I talked about this earlier. We're looking to feel safe, but in order for us to feel safe, we got to overgive and overplease and do all of these things, hoping that it'll make them love us more, hoping that they won't leave us, hoping that we will earn love just like we did when we were a kid. So if you're like this, as funny as it may sound, you're dating like a baby. The adult is not in the room. The inner child says these words. If I do enough, maybe they will stay. You know, I wasn't even reading these notes. I was talking about me, but it say the same thing. So if I help enough, maybe they will choose me. If I prove my value, maybe they will not leave. But healthy love does not require you to audition for basic respect. Do you hear that? You don't have to audition for respect. You don't have to audition for love. You can vet, right? You can show up, they can show up, and things happen organically. But why am I performing? You know, we perform sometimes without them even saying anything. Our inner child needs to do it in advance just to make sure. Isn't that wild? And people that do this, right? Let me tell y'all something. It's gonna sting some of y'all. People that do this is what they say when they find out that they was in a relationship with this type of person or whatever, and you're gonna be like, I don't understand what happened. I did everything a wife was supposed to do. I did all the things, and they still did the thing. I did everything that I thought that I should do. You hear the language? And that doesn't mean that they were a good person and you ran them off, but you was just doing everything. Most people that say that, they was doing most of the work emotionally and everything else. Trust me. And the reciprocity wasn't there. And then we say, I did everything I was supposed to do. You didn't even get anything back to give you the reassurance that it was cool to keep doing it. So, overgiving creates resentment because deep down, you're not just giving freely, you're giving with a hidden hope. You're hoping they see you. You're hoping they finally appreciate you. You're hoping that they finally love you back at the same level. You hear that? We're hoping. We're going to say out our mouths we don't need it, but silently, we hope that they want to love us back similarly or give us some kind of reciprocity back, but we ain't gonna tell nobody that. We be lying. I'm happy as long as you're happy. Why the hell would you say that? What about you? That's all I need is just you to be happy. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna need my significant other to worry about me. I don't know about y'all. Anyway, we go we go move past that. But when you're healed, you can say, I can be loving without abandoning myself. That's adult love. Self-abandonment, childhood. It's how you feel like you need to survive, but it's not that. It's more torture than survival, right? You're hoping that they're going to love you back, but you most likely won't get it. Yeah. Let me see. What we doing? All right, so we got I'll do a couple more. I got a lot of them, but I'm gonna take it easy on y'all. Ooh, here we go. Here we go, y'all. Ready? The next childlike behavior is fantasy bonding. Y'all, there's the potential, y'all. This is potential. When you doing all of that, you dating like a baby. The inner child loves potential. The inner child loves imagination. I think there was a SpongeBob episode where imagination. If anybody kid, watch that. Anyway, the inner child could take a small amount of attention and build a whole future around it. If they text you good morning, now your inner child is planning the wedding. They open up one time and now you believe they're emotionally available. You know why I'm laughing? Because y'all know what the hell this is. Some of y'all like, I could have wrote this myself. He don't need to read the notes. No, to open up one time and you think that means they're emotionally available is wild, y'all. And that's how we do it. You want to activate an empath? Open up to them one time. It's over. They could be like, oh, we some suckers, ain't we? They say, I'm laughing at these because I know that, like, I got like little tears coming out my eyes. Wait. They say, I never met anyone like you, and now your inner child feels chosen. Y'all, we fall for these little lines, these little one-liners. I've never met anyone like you ever in life. You're the most amazing person on the planet Earth that I've ever met. I don't even know why my eyes getting watery. It's not even funny because people really get hurt by these things. And it reminds me of the that you remember Boomerang, the movie with Eddie Murphy, when he first met Robin Givens, and he was like, you're the most amazing woman I've ever laid my eyes on. He would say something like that, and I'm like, come on, man, stop it. Y'all love that though for some reason. Like in the whole world, like I'm the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in your life. Yeah, just you. And he'd be like, oh, it can't be that easy, y'all. I swear it can't be. It shouldn't be. Right. So, potential is not a relationship. Potential is not consistency. Potential is not character. Potential is not emotional maturity. Potential is just what could be, and you still have to pay attention to what is. When your inner child is in control, you may fall in love with the version of them that you created in your mind. You are not dating the person, you're dating the possibility. You're dating who they could become. You're dating who they were for the first 2 weeks. You remember I always tell y'all about strangers? In 2 weeks, they're still a stranger. You still supposed to have the antenna's still supposed to be up. Y'all be like, but I trust them. Stop, y'all. I told y'all I'm gonna make a t-shirt that says stop it. What the hell are you doing? I'm gonna have to make that t-shirt this week. Stop it. What the hell are you doing? Cause y'all that's not supposed to work, y'all. I don't. You know what? I'm gonna skip to the next one because this one right, I can't do it. I can't. I can't. So now the next one of how you show up like a kid. Hold on, man. I might have to skip past some of these because when I start getting like this and I start laughing and all that, it means it's triggering me. Just so y'all, that's my tell. Oh, here we go. Let's do this. I had to skip past. Here's another childlike behavior that may show up in your dating. Indirect bids for safety, right? So this is what that means. You're testing people instead of communicating. You may pull away to see if they chase you. You may stop tech. First of all, hold on, wait. Some of y'all, and I'm gonna pick on y'all ladies. Some of y'all be like, y'all be doing all of these tests and pulling away, and y'all be saying stuff like, you know what, this not working for me. And then he be like, yeah, okay, I understand. I'm gonna go ahead and move around. And you be like, so you're not gonna fight for me? See, that's what I'm talking about. You ain't even gonna fight. I wasn't even serious. Stop doing that, y'all. Cause you're gonna find somebody that has some emotional intelligence and some boundaries, and he can be like, all right, cool, because I ain't trying to, you don't want to be here, neither do I. Bye. Y'all keep on thinking it's 2026. These dudes is like, hell no, I'm good. Once upon a time, you would, yeah, but you may stop texting first to see if they notice, right? So you stop communicating to see if they're gonna hit you back first to test to see if they really care. You may post something on social media to see if they react to it. You may act like something doesn't bother you while secretly waiting to see if they figure it out. I'm picking on y'all tonight, ladies. Stop doing this, y'all. Y'all, you be like, are you all right? Yeah, I'm good. Did not say nothing was wrong. And they be like, but you look like something in your face look like it's all scrunched up. Can you separate the eyebrows back out? It's all, you be like, I'm good. Why you keep saying that? Because look at you, look at your face. What? And you like, why are you, just leave me alone. I said I was fine. Y'all need to stop doing that. Something is wrong, damn it. And you know what? He gonna be like, all right, cool. And then later on, you gonna be like, so you was just gonna walk away? Why do y'all do that? You didn't even want to check and see if I was gonna be okay. Like, I've been here for 30 minutes trying to figure it out. But you said you was fine. Now, don't get it twisted. Dudes be doing the I'm all right thing too. So let's not just women, but y'all, I'm gonna say y'all got about a 80 to 20 split. It's more y'all. You be like, babe, what do you want to eat for dinner? And the woman would be like, just tell me what you want to eat. And the guy would be like, all right, I want steak. And he'd be like, steak? I wanted fish. See, this is why I was saying we not in sync. I thought we would think the same thing. See, I don't even know if we belong together because we supposed to be thinking the same thing at the same time, or else we're not connected. Y'all need to stop. You know what? I was just testing you to see if we were on the same page. Yeah. Wait. You may say you're fine, but you're not fine at all. It's childlike because children often do not know how to directly ask for what they need. They act out, they withdraw, they pout. Some of y'all, that bottom lip. And I'll be like, like that worked on your daddy. Like you did that when you was little, didn't you? Yeah. And if your emotional needs were ignored when you was growing up, you may have learned to communicate pain indirectly. But healthy adult relationships require direct communication, not manipulation, not testing, not emotional puzzles, not silent punishments. Wink, wink. The emotional puzzles is wild though, because we don't necessarily speak like this, like out loud, But I knew exactly what the hell that meant when I read it. I knew exactly what that meant when I read it. The calculus problems that, and I'm not saying it's just men that got to go through it, but trying to figure it out, reading minds, all of that. It ain't a puzzle. It's a whole arithmetic calculus problem with some extra, I don't even know what the hell. Crazy. And the person who's dishing out the puzzle just sitting back watching you suffer. Like, so you didn't figure it out yet? Well, you know, I told you something on Thursday, December 8th, 2022. Tell me what it was. Oh, so it wasn't important to you, huh? You know, it was at 5 p.m. back then, right? What did I say? That was what I did. Oh, so you don't love me anymore. Y'all need to stop. Ooh, y'all need to stop doing that. I can't remember what happened on Tuesday. You talk about 20. I can't even remember what I ate for breakfast today. Y'all, breathe. I'm breathing for me. You know, I'd be like, I did this for y'all. Just breathing for me. The inner child. Look at the notes. The notes say the inner child wants somebody to magically know what's wrong. How did I know that was coming next? We got to learn how, like, you know, we scooting past this one too. I know this is the official podcast and it's going to be on Spotify, but I don't care. This is, I don't know. It's like, okay, so I'm going to skip past some of these because y'all need to go to bed. All right, let's, you know what? Let's just talk about how to know if your adult self is back in control. And I know some of y'all are like, he's a coach. I don't want my coaches to be laughing like that. So what? I'm different here. So how do you know when your adult self is back in control, right? So now here's the part that if you was doing any of that stuff, you're going to have to get coached by me before we even get to this, what I'm about to say right here, because y'all ain't even going to understand it because y'all still dating like a baby, right? So now, how do you know when your adult self is back in control? When you reparent that inner child, when you do the shadow work that y'all didn't do because y'all didn't get coached by me yet, right? You slow down first. You observe instead of being obsessive about things. You ask questions instead of creating stories. Cognitive distortions. Miss Carol, cognitive distortions. I told you that. You got to do that show. You communicate instead of testing. You regulate before responding. You stop auditioning for love. I've auditioned quite a few times. I done put on the clown outfit and did some circus acts that didn't pan out either. Y'all be making people forget jump through hoops. It's like a whole obstacle course. And after they do the obstacle course thing, y'all be like, I don't think this is going to work out. What? Wait, did you wait? I did all the proving. I got the medal around my neck and everything. Y'all, I won, right? Didn't I win? And they be like, nah, but thank you. Ooh. You stop confusing attention with commitment. When you get this healing on you, you stop letting someone's inconsistency become your emergency. If they extremely inconsistent in the dating process, bye. So I don't need, like, I'm gonna chase you. Are you y'all need to get some coaching for real. Like, and I'm not saying I know everything, but your nervous system and your inner child is doing a lot. You know, as a coach, right? Let's do a really quick aside. For you guys that are dating like a baby. And it's okay if you are, right? We've all kind of did it, right? Because we have a lot of things that we got to work on, right? So the baby part was kind of for you to kind of be like, the hell? So you can come in here. But please understand that when I say like a baby or like a child, right? And I've talked about this at least on one live stream before. Please understand, right? And I'm going to give you two different areas where I personally see this. Whenever you come to me for coaching and I ask you a very simple question, what do you think you need to work on, right? And then maybe you give me some context. I'm listening for the child, right? Pay attention to what I'm saying, because I'm not done. I'm listening to where the child shows up in your explanation. It's very apparent in even how you type, even how you explain what you've been through. The kid is going to show up in your behavior patterns, right? So now I need for you to catch this. You know who else looks for your childlike behavior? Predators, the people y'all call narcs. They're targeting the child in you that needs acceptance, that's overgiving, that's more empathic. They're looking for the child to show up. When the child shows up, your boundaries and your protective measures are weaker. This is how they get in, right? Furthermore, because I was once upon a time a very acute, like, reader of the childlike behavior when I was outside as a coach, when you come into my coaching, I always tell people, when you're in my system, under my care, you are not allowed to date. You know why I say that? Because the child is still front facing. I can hear it. I can see it. I can read it. If you go through my curriculum and you still sound like a child, we're going to have to keep going back until you get it. I'm not going to let you go back out because they're going to find you fast. You're still dating like a baby. So I can see it. That's why a lot of you guys, when you talk to me, I'll be like, stop. I already know what it is. This is what you need. You don't have to tell me the whole story. Y'all ever hear me say, I don't need you to type your whole explanation? Because the kid is going to come out in the first paragraph, guaranteed, with a certainty. When I see that, we're going to go ahead and reboot you. In my reboot yourself system, we're going to start with the pattern recognition. We're going to then move into the shadow work and understanding the inner child that caused the patterns. Then we're going to look at the attachment styles, which comes from what you learned in the shadow work that made you pick people from that wound. And then we're going to matriculate into learning how to regulate yourself when the inner child is triggered. So it all goes together as your foundational principles, no matter what your healing journey is. Oh, everybody's different. How could because everybody needs those foundational tools. This is what I train you how to do in a way that you become so acute at it that you won't even need my help when you're done. Let the birdies fly is what I say, because I don't want you to use me as a crutch. I got things to do, right? My nervous system can't handle all your trauma. So go through my system first. We can talk through it, but you ain't going to we don't need the novel. Let's get that little kid handled, and most of your problems going to go away, right? It's really mathematical, right? Even though it's emotional, I've been hurt. I get it. Mathematically, you understand the root of where it comes from. You put new tools in place and all of that, and you adhere to them. You're going to be a better person by default. 1 + 1 = 2. But if you never heal, 0 + 0 going to equal 0. Like, you're not going to get what you need out of life. Period. You still going to have a problem with boundaries with your parents. Like, forget the dating. Like, boundaries is, and all the stuff you learn here, it's the life lessons. The reason why they haven't stuck before is because the inner child is still operating in the front. You want to know how these mean, evil people keep finding you? Because it's a little girl staring them in the face. They're like, oh, this is going to be easy. Oh, you know what? I just got to do this because they doing too damn much. I didn't even ask for this. Like, why they keep, the little kid is real hungry. Well, I already learned everything I need to learn. I'm healed. And I'd be like, show me your last date. Oh, no. The lie detector says that's a no. Real easy. So imagine if it's that easy to find it, just by how you present, you don't even realize it because it's subconscious. They're always going to find you. They're always going to find you. Gatorade. So your adult self should say, I can want love and still choose myself. I can be interested and still be discerning. I can feel triggered and still not act from the trigger, right? This is all part of the healing journey. I do not have to abandon myself to keep somebody. You know how big it is for a person, like the amount of us that abandon ourselves just to keep someone is huge. So now to piggyback on what I just said, if you abandon yourself to keep someone, don't you think that that's easy for someone to see or feel? It's easy to see someone abandon themselves just to keep you. I don't even understand why. Yes, I can tell you why. Why would they pick me to do this to? I can tell you why. Let's talk. Get in my inbox. There's a reason. And someone like me, I'll find out in like 5 minutes. It's real easy. And so when I start speaking like this, people will start saying, oh man, that sounds so difficult. Like I just don't even want to date no more. No, what I'm saying to you is that you have some healing to do. You have some wounding. Once you get my tools, when you go back outside, it's not about what they're gonna do to you. It's about what you're gonna do for you. I hope y'all caught that because I just came up with it just now. Stop worrying about what they're going to do to you. Worry about what you're going to do for yourself. What you do for yourself is have better discernment. What you do for yourself is that when things don't feel right and when it hurts, you leave. But you can't do that if you haven't worked out in the sit down and heal gym. I'll make you strong. I'll make you into a whole superhero out in these dating streets because I know what you give off that attracts them. I know what you give off that makes you look like an abandoned little girl. It's all over you. You know how there's a lot of people out here that can play everybody that they choose because it's easy for someone who has trauma to find someone else that has trauma. These people that are seeking you out have trauma. They're gonna if your trauma's front facing, they're gonna find you really fast. So it's not to eliminate the trauma. It's not for you to change who you are. You just have to become a master of moving around if the energy wrong. Moving around if something is so inconsistent that it's a deal breaker. Are you strong enough to leave or are you going to run towards it and try to fix it again? The trauma's still in you. You're just regulating yourself. Let me tell you an even more example of how this really works, right? You remember your first heartbreak? You remember how devastated you were? You remember how much it tore your whole soul out, right? 20, 30, 40 years later, guess what? From that original hurt, if I asked you to remember what it felt like, you could tell me what it felt like, right? It's still in you, but you learned how to move around and not let it affect you enough to not participate in the world as a functional human being. You figured it out. It's in you to be able to regulate yourself. But somewhere along the line, that inner child starts taking over again to try to protect you and is putting you in the spaces you shouldn't be in. It's still there. That first breakup is still inside your nervous system, but you don't let it control you. You figured it out somehow. But the more we get broken down in life, we lose that ability. And I'm here to tell you that it can be done with help. Now you need help because you got a lot of life on you now. You got a lot more pain, a lot more misalignments that you're going to need help now. And if you don't get the help, right? Some of us can do this, but most of us need some kind of a guidance. And that's why I do this because it's my story too. So with guidance, you don't have to do it by yourself. You can be better, get better, do better. And there's no downside to better. No downside to better. So I want you guys to really just think about this. I don't even think I went through the whole, but y'all got the gist of it, right? Like for some people, it kind of took you to a place. It took me to a couple places today. But I will say this: I wrote down some notes for closing this out because I had about 4 or 5 more, but I don't think we was gonna make it through it. I would have probably passed out on camera, and y'all would have been like, "I screen recorded Derek passing out." Not giving y'all no material for me to go viral. I don't want to go viral for that. You're not broken because your inner child shows up. You're not crazy because you get triggered. You're not weak because you want love. You're a human being. But you're responsible for learning when the wounded part of you has taken over. That's your job. Your inner child deserves love, care, attention, and healing, but your inner child should not be driving your dating life. The child needs comfort, it needs safety, and it needs your adult self to step in and say, I've got us now. You know how many times I've said that to y'all? You got to make that inner child feel like you got it now. That's a superpower that most people don't even know how to do. Because we see it in our relationships. We see it in the people with the silent treatment and they walking off like, you don't like me. No, it's a little kid. It's not even about the argument anymore. When the adult version of you is in control, you don't chase love. You choose it. I'm going to repeat that. When the adult version of you is in control, you don't chase love. You choose it. You do not beg for safety. You build safety. You do not perform for worthiness. You recognize your worth. And you stop dating like a baby who needs to be picked. You start dating like an adult who knows that they're already valuable. I hope y'all catching this, y'all. The healing journey is mandatory. Y'all gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until 2028 and then I'm gonna start. You need to start today. You know why? Because your life dictates it. Not me, not your friends. Look at your life. And if you need to do some work, what are you waiting on? That's for you to ask yourself. Because any excuse you have, I'm going to shut it down. Get in my inbox. I'm going to make a liar out of you real fast. Be like, what? I'm not saying you got to go through me, but you're doing nothing. Contact me if you even at least want to just know what direction you need to go in. Right? Because what do we, especially if you dating like a baby. It's time to grow up. So I'm going to land my plane. The healing journey is where you get to culminate all of this. And then once you get that healing part, the foundational principles and how you matriculate through your healing journey so that you have a foundation to go through, then I can help you with the dating stuff. When we get to the dating stuff, I'm going to make you a superhero because they will not be smarter than you. They won't even see you coming. They're going to try, but I'm smarter than them. And I'm not even trying to sound cocky. You know why I say I'm smarter than them? Because most people that try to play you, they not smart. You know what they do? Let me give you a cheat code and then I'm going to get out of here. I've said this a million times, but y'all don't be listening to me. They don't have to have this magical blueprint of how to play you. I know y'all think they he's so smart. He played me. No. They are looking for the little kid to show up and they are watching your behavior. They don't have to have a plan. They're watching your reactions. And when you show up like a child, it's easy to peg you. They don't have a master plan of, oh, I'm manipulating. I got this master. They're not that smart. They don't need to be. They just need to know how to sit back and watch you squirm. So when I say I'm smarter than them, what I mean is that I'm going to train you how to do exactly what they're doing to catch them first. Because they have movements and behavior too. You're too busy listening to their words. And once you realize how to do this, you'll be able to air them out in one phone call or one date. Talk to any of the people that you see coming through my lives most of the time. Coach Tanya, Tara, Son LT, they'll tell you they're out now. They've graduated. And they will not sit too long ever again. Because now their senses are so heightened that they can be like, nope, nope, yes. Nope, 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 yes. And I'm like, how long did it take you to say no? Over the phone? It can be done. Not perfect, but it can be done. And the biggest trick is that if you're vetting for alignment, core values, and all of those other type of things, you'll be able to tell if there's an alignment just by having a simple dialogue and a conversation, but we don't do that. Let me help you. Let me train you, but I will not give you the dating advice until we heal first. So that's all I got. The replay for this and all the other Tuesday podcasts, we're here every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TikTok Live. And then after the live, within a day or so, it'll be uploaded to YouTube for your replay pleasures. There's already 25 past podcasts there. So if you enjoyed this one, just go back and binge them on YouTube. And I'm also available for audio only on all major podcasting platforms. So it'll be uploaded to YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of them. I'm there. So y'all have an amazing evening. If you need me, sitdownandheal.com has all of my services, prices, and all the stuff that y'all be trying to make me tell y'all. Just go to the website. I swear to you. And it's pretty to look at too. Just go look at the web, click the link on the social media platform of your choice, and it's there. Group coaching is available. Dare I say, one-on-one calls are available too. But that's with some discernment. Talk to me first, because most of y'all, I would say 8 out of 10 of y'all don't even need to hear my voice on the phone. I'll still help you heal, and you won't even have to get on the phone with me once. My graduates have never had a one-on-one call with me, and they are fundamentally changed. So that should tell you something about my system. It's not going to be the way you want it. It's going to be the way you need it, because I don't play around with your healing. So if you start healing and something happens in life and you get off track, you have a system to go back to, not a phone call. So I'm landing my plane. You guys have an amazing night. And hopefully, if you're catching me for the first time or the 10th time, hopefully you'll come back enough times that you'll be compelled to sit down and heal. I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good night.
Sit down and heal with Coach Day. Let that old pain breathe and we air it. You already know that you need to heal. Let me show you